Now this is buffer time. Respect.
What is buffer time? Is what buffer time? Welcome, one and all. We are here tonight to discuss TNG's most pivotal, definitive episode. 10 out of 10, no notes. We're talking season 2's episode of The Royale. My name is Wind Gracie May, and let's go around and decide who the rest of us are.
I'm Dustin from some channel around here or another. I guess down here to Vanessa. Are you with us?
No audio.
No hablo audio. Dell, why don't you go ahead?
We're gonna skip Robbie.
Well, we'll go that way.
Oh, okay. I'm Dell. I'm not dead. I haven't been around here for quite some time.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, I'm Vanessa, and I love bad Star Trek. That's the name of my channel.
Hi, everybody. I'm Baggage Boy, Robbie Sherman.
Are you muted, Robbie?
Am I?
No, Rob. You're good, Robbie.
Well, now that we're all here, hit or miss, we are going to discuss something that happened in this episode that was seemingly a great choice at the time, and then just a few short years later, thrown out the window. But do you think that the fact that Fermat's last theorem was proven just years after this episode, does that kill the interesting science thing the episode had going, or, does it kind of add to the flavor of the universe?
To me, it's technobabble because I don't know anything about it. So they could be like, oh, it's the theory of relativity and we haven't solved it yet. And I would be like, yes, like I have no idea.
Well, it goes along with like a thing that happens in the late first and into the second season where Picard's working on some random thing behind the scenes because he also does a thing with an impossible planet and how it orbits its star that Riker walks in on, which is actually a pretty cool hollow piece of effects for the 80s later in the season. But I do feel like it kind of guts what little thing it could have tied to the real universe.
Do you think that had they said it was solved in the episode, would that have been interesting, or did they just have skipped it altogether?
It would have been weird then if it wasn't solved finally now. I mean, I guess not, because it could have been further in the future. I don't know.
I mean, we'd all technically be dead by the time it had to have been solved.
So I actually looked into this. I actually looked this up, the Fermat's theorem. Apparently,
Nerd.
Guilty. So apparently it wasn't I'm explaining this really badly, but it wasn't fully solved. It was just sort of retooled and solved in a different framework, as if I understand it correctly. It took a few tries for this person to solve it, but when they did, it was sort of they changed a little bit of the conditions that it was solved under. So it's the reason I bring this up is because even out of world, maybe there's a way to read this that is still true to life. It's not, anyways.
Okay. Do you know what it actually is? Anybody? What is it telling us?
They don't pay me to do math, okay?
Exactly.
It adds how much a quarter pounder with cheese
they said it in the episode.
And a Royale equal out to. And it equals out to an Arch Deluxe.
Oh.
But I thought France was a dead place in this season. So probably there is no French cheese.
Just like a lot of math things, it's just sort of a game. It's essentially a puzzle, right? It says that no positive integers that can satisfy an equation a to the nth power plus b to the nth power equals c to the nth power for any integer of n greater than 2. So it's basically like a riddle.
When in
That's
it's
why
created
it's,
with two, because otherwise it's a Pythagorean.
yeah.
And it has to be solved in whole numbers because it
Mhm.
can be solved with remainders.
Right.
I don't even know what that means.
Become a Q just to just instantly ascend.
That's the test. That's how you meet the great koala.
Yeah.
Perfect. It's all coming together. I'm sure that's what they intended.
What I guess what I was trying to say was like with most math things, it's just sort of like numbers by themselves are really abstract concepts to begin with. And so this is just sort of like a puzzle. It doesn't necessarily have like practical applicability.
So it's basically the same as the scene when Data got his fingers stuck in the finger trap there.
Right.
It's just a puzzle.
Yeah, I'm
Sometimes
still
a
stuck on the
cigar is
riddle of
just a
what
cigar.
is your favorite color.
What is your quest? That's the real riddle. But along the same lines then, something else that was shown in this episode is sometime in the near future, do you actually think we being the United States, will be gaining a couple of new states within the next few years? And who might they be? All of Canada? Venezuela?
I have to just, and I promise I'm just going to skim politics for a minute. But I would like to see Washington, D.C. and Puerto Rico maybe be priorities on that list.
I don't know if Puerto Rico wants to be a state. I think they want
No.
to just be their own country.
I'm just saying I would rather that than us like
Yeah.
annex Greenland.
Well, they're a territory already.
Yeah. Well, isn't
Yeah.
there a reason DC isn't? Isn't it supposed to be like a neutral entity that doesn't have
Then they should
statehood?
be absolved of taxes because they pay for a government
Yeah.
they have no say in.
That's why their license plates say taxation without representation.
I used to live in the area, so yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, but they
Yeah,
got
I mean,
pummeled.
the true reason now is racism. Because
Yeah.
when it was first founded, there wasn't enough people there for it to even matter. And now it's basically all black people.
I mean, that's
So
that's
I'm almost
been the
certain
case
that the
for-
reason it
that's
hasn't
been the
become
case for
one.
a lot of its history.
Even though it has 3 times as many people as like Wyoming and other states that get 2 senators and a couple of
Mhm.
reps.
I almost think I could see the United States becoming separate countries before I could see us annexing states. Hi, Norman.
I have a little gander myself at this. Okay, I'm living in Indiana, and our governor is trying to co-opt some territory in Illinois, so that way they can broaden the district, on the voting map. So Illinois and Indiana might become some kind of bastard super state, like soon here. Yeah. So maybe that's part of what they're talking about.
Well, speaking from my area, there's always people introducing. I'm in New York. They want to make basically New York City its own thing, and the rest of New York State breaks away and becomes its own state. So conceivably, that
that's
could be
always
it.
a thing. When I lived there too, there's a lot of talk about that. It's a pipe dream for both. I mean, the city could totally exist without upstate, but upstate would realize how screwed it was as soon as the money from the city stopped
Yeah.
flowing.
We need the money, but we
Well,
also
and New York
don't
would
get the
become a
priority.
red state,
Yep.
and the city would be a blue state.
That would
Correct.
be that's a
Yes.
lot of big cities in a lot of states. That goes for California. That goes for Chicago as well. Like there's this constant contention between the two experiences of either one of those. And they can't exist without the other. Yeah.
So this one, let's get to something a little bit more into the episode itself. But I'm going to go a little out of order here. When do you think the setting of the Royale was supposed to be? What time period, if it were to have one, or is it just outside of time generic?
Okay, there was a moment where the oil man or whoever it is that's trying to fuck that girl at the craps table, He says that he has like a 91 Plymouth or something outside,
Mhm.
and
It's
that just
94,
didn't make
but yeah.
sense to me. What?
I think he said 94, but either way, yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
either way, it was after the 80s when this was made. So
Either way, like, yeah, and I was thinking, like, is this?
Yeah.
I thought this was supposed to be like a Rat Pack kind of thing, so I was a little confused by that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think they were going for timeless, but they kind of leaned into the casino aesthetic. And so because the casino aesthetic was at its height in like the 50s and 60s and maybe even the
Right.
40s a little bit, so it has a little bit of that flavor, but it would be like going to a casino today.
I feel like this hallway right here is the epitome of the 80s, and it could
Yeah.
exist in no other time, though.
It's
Oh, yeah.
it's sort of a mishmash because you have also the gentleman gangster at the end, standing over. Yeah, that guy. He's wearing kind of like a big suit.
Mickey
And
D.
yeah, Mickey D.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Mickey D. Yeah, exactly. Like where's the Big Mac? Where's the clown wig? Where's the big shoes? But that kind of read to me as like 40s ish time, and then they put on that music. Like that particular like story kind of exists in its own time, and then the casino kind of exists in its own time.
I
Yeah.
feel like the novel
Right.
is like a novel that came out like around 2020 or something. So this writer is just putting all kinds of different little cliches together, thinking he's got the next Amazon bestseller or something.
Norman
So
just
that's all
scared the crap out of me because my maiden last name is Laughlin. And I was like, oh my God, it looks like a casino with my family.
Robbie just brought up kind of a good point. I hadn't thought about it being more modern, but I think if it was written like sometime in the last few years, it would have been written by AI. This is just
Oh.
AI taking a whole
Oh,
bunch of
God.
shitty tropes and chucking it together into a book. This book is AI written. You can't change my mind anymore.
Wow.
That explains so much.
No, they had it in the database. I was going to say maybe they generated it on their travels because they needed something to read.
And they printed it out in book form because they find an actual novel, don't they?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Well,
You
the
don't see it till
aliens
the
could
very
have
end, but
could
yeah.
have generated it. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe to make it fit period better, I guess.
Well, at least we know what the outside of the hotel looks like from the
Yeah.
cover.
Also, I think like a lot of heavy lifting
Also
is
AI
done by the
generated.
fact that these are aliens trying to recreate a novel, and so their knowledge of even how to read the book, never mind create things true to the book, can be fudged a little.
That's a good point.
I really didn't think about that either. That helps make it make more sense. Good job, Vanessa.
Yeah, I was trying to see if they had a TV in the room, but I didn't see one because I'd be curious if they did, what sort of crazy
I think so.
programs they put into that thing, or if it was just
Yeah.
dead air.
Right.
I don't think so.
I bet you they
There'd be-
had
there'd
like,
be a lot of
when you go into a
commercials.
hotel and the hotel has its own channel where it's like, come visit us in the lobby and our restaurant has a special today, that sort of thing.
Hmm.
Nice.
Oh man, I bet they got the best fried chicken you ever tasted within 5 miles of that place. Let me tell you.
Everything tastes like chicken, even
Except
the dice.
Royale
They've
With
got the
not
loosest
chicken.
slots in town.
Like
man.
after this gentleman died, I'm just like, why does the hotel even exist anymore? What is the point of it?
I watched this and I could not figure out why did the
Well, they
aliens
had-
do this? Like
So
to put them in a time bubble until they die? Like what to gain? This is a lot of work.
They actually broke down this video on my channel because there's so many things that just don't make any sense about this, but that's one of them. It's like they could have, if they felt so guilty, these aliens, they could have just brought them home.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's like when you
Yeah.
make a big Lego set and then you're looking at it and it looks amazing, and then you're like, oh man, but I really don't have space for that anymore around here. But I don't want to take it down. We worked on it. We put all this time into it. But, it's kind of in the way. But now they have a use for it because Riker showed up out of nowhere. They finally get to play with the big old Lego set.
I wonder also maybe if it was like, oh, we sense humans. We know what to do with humans. Let's make the hotel again.
We smelled you, human.
Yes.
That was like
See,
a
I
question that
assumed
had.
the hotel was just there the whole time, but you're saying
Yeah.
it may have reinstated itself when
Like,
he
yeah, like,
showed
oh,
up.
well, we know what to do with this person. We know what to do with this race. We
That
put
was-
them in the hotel that where the other one liked.
But at what point
That was
does
the thing I was saying with the claim.
at what point does it reset and go into a loop though? Is really the question then. Because if
Yeah.
this has
Yeah.
existed for like hundreds of years.
Well, that was the part that like it felt like they gave it almost a holodeck ending. Like they needed a way to end it, so like, oh, we need to finish the program, where that doesn't really make sense for
Right.
everything established up until then. Like, because why couldn't the other guy finish the program? Or maybe
Right.
if he did, he'd walk outside and just die. So
Yeah, the thing is, like, he would walk outside and be able to access that breathable air that they beam down to, but they have no ship
Mhm.
and no way to contact anybody else because they're way farther out than they ever could have imagined. So,
Norman, the only thing on the menu is a Royale with cheese.
I would find it humorous though to think that like the baggage boy is constantly like being killed like every few days, like they're constantly going through this loop. And then he starts to get aware of it, but he can't say it out loud because he understands that he's part of the program as well.
He's just constantly gaining sentience like once a day just to die.
constantly bothering the front desk guy with his bullshit about, you know, this girlfriend or whatever. And then it's like really bad dinner theater.
I wasn't even supposed to be here today.
I love when they're having that whole discussion and Riker's just kind of in the background, just staring them. Just what are we talking about,
He,
guys?
like, I want another tea. Catch me up.
Because it
Like,
does.
Riker would totally play the bellboy if this was a holodeck. He would be invested in that.
He would be the gangster. I don't know if he would be the little bellboy going like, "I'm gonna get a gun." Like, I also.
Oh yeah.
What's crazy to me is like the hotel manager or assistant manager. I don't know why they made him an assistant manager. That's so stupid. But like, why he didn't see the gun that this kid was carrying and go, "That's insane. Why are you bringing a gun to work?" Like,
Everyone has guns. That's why everyone's walking around carrying. You know, it's just normal. You know, all those old fucks spending all their Social Security money, they definitely have guns, okay?
Why didn't Texas pull out a gun? I mean, if anyone was going to just have a gun on him, he should have just pew, pew, pew.
Who shot JR?
I'm sorry, Vanessa. Can you reiterate how the bellboy sounded? Because I wasn't sure where you were going with that.
he just sounded like now I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, I have a lady and I have a gun and I'm gonna be with her no matter what. I'm gonna stand up to Mickey D. And it's like, why not just get another girlfriend? There's plenty of people at the casino.
Yeah,
She's
but
hot.
we've all
She's
known
a
But it's
hot
someone.
girl
Rita.
there.
She's
That's why.
special.
She's
We've all known
special
someone
and
who
hot.
is
It's not
really
following
good
the
at
script.
Either. You know, she sounds like George Glass, but a woman.
Mickey D's feeding her that sickness, and we're not talking about heroin. We're talking about Big Macs. He just keeps feeding her.
You know that is a kink.
Yes, I do. That was the joke.
You know who else had that? Freud.
Hmm.
Anyway,
I didn't know that was a kink. Okay, that makes a lot of sense now.
yeah, he was like, you
Moving
know, I'm just
along,
gonna keep
moving
feeding
along.
you until you're plump, and then my body's gonna be filled with cocaine.
Just
It's almost like a
feeding
full-
McDonald's and while he takes all the cocaine. I am
Yep.
100% sure that the main like antagonist in Fallout New Vegas, Benny, is totally based on this guy, fucking Mickey D.
That's a deep cut.
I'm loving the overcoat. Every
You know
time you
what?
pull up this picture, I love the overcoat.
I know he's problematic, but I think Mickey D is a hunk. Okay, look at that fucking jawline. He looks like he was drawn by Bruce Timm. Who the hell created that guy?
AI.
Yeah.
Set my browser. I'll be right back.
He said, like, the line that he closes with, "Oh no, where did Dustin go?"
He said he was going to be right back.
Oh, the line
That's a
that
good
he
guy.
closed with, there's women that are worth killing for, not dying for, but
Mhm.
killing. I thought that was so clunky.
No,
That
it
just-
was very
Well, that's the
profound.
point.
Didn't you just like leave you with so much wonder and awe?
It's a dumb novel, like with shallow characters, like very specifically said. And
In
I
universe.
actually- I
All
really
right,
love
but you know
that.
what?
They-
I think
Yeah.
everyone in this room has read at least one trashy novel. Now, it could have been like super sexy sci-fi. It could have been a romance novel. It could have been like fantasy about being in the army. But we've all read at least one trashy novel.
Yes.
Probably written by Peter David.
I think
Love
it was-
the man,
I
but
think it was like somebody gave me a book when I was like 16, and they said it was Irish mythology, and I'm like, ooh, yay, because I'm a dork. And I read it, and I'm like, this is a romance novel with like a ghost mentioned in like page 40 or something.
A lot
And
of
it
Celtic
was-
magic.
yeah,
books are
It
trash
was a
anyway.
woman from a
Ghost
therapist
woman.
from
That's so
Chicago meets a Irish barkeep, and isn't that sexy or whatever? It was
did she delete the wife?
I was just about to go there.
I'm pretty
But,
sure that's the plot of Only the Lonely featuring John Candy.
Wow.
Oh.
Ground beef.
Nice.
Ew, ew.
Come in, let's go.
So we kind of just touched on it, but is the
Oh,
threat of
what's that
planting
surface?
your face in the pavement, would that be enough to keep you away from Rita?
I don't know Rita.
She's
Yes.
the, she's
That's
the
the,
chick that
American
Mickey
History
D's
X.
feeding the sickness to.
See,
I don't know. Look, I live in the internet age, and yeah, I definitely don't need to worry about Rita, so I don't personally understand this insane passion.
I mean, I've had people in my life, and I still do, that I would take a face plant for. I think it depends on where you are, but also, is the pavement wet or dry? Because that would make a big difference to me.
It's partially dry, but not all the way there yet.
As long as it has give, I don't mind so much.
Oh,
I really enjoy looking for contingencies because, you know, he said, you know, if Mickey D finds out your face is going into the pavement, I never considered maybe wet pavement. Maybe it's like, you know, Hollywood Walk of Fame kind of thing, or Grauman's Chinese Theater, and that's he's gonna make you famous.
Yeah.
I just imagine.
Well,
that
everyone's going to be
stupid
like, you
puppet-
see that in the ground there? That's that guy who loved Rita.
I just
He
imagine
proved
that
it.
stupid puppet from Team America falling in his own vomit outside the bar.
And as we all know, a
I saw that
slab of
initially.
pavement can still have a love life.
That's
Oh, yes.
it always leaves an impression. I guess
Okay.
like
Da da da.
What is preferable, the wet pavement or the band pavement? I'm leaning towards the latter myself.
the band. Are you kidding? Like I mean, I don't know. Like I just feel like there's other people I could date. There's, you know, the threat of physical violence is enough to make me consider like there's other people I could date. There's like a
There
full-
has to be another decent looking person there. you
Yeah.
know? Maybe it's time they figured out that they're bisexual and start going after some men too, you know?
Yeah.
They could source it out a little bit.
You know, there's a dead body upstairs.
Mm.
They can only be how they're written.
There's
True.
as Worf said when he opened the drawer, some curiosities. So who knows what's in that desk drawer there?
That
That's
sounded
a good
very
point.
whimsical coming from Worf. Curiosities.
The Gideon Bible, John.
Well, Worf was on rare form in this. He's like, he looks at a door and he's like, "Hey, what's that? What's going on with this thing here? What do we do with it?"
went to the elevator
It's
and was like,
elevator,
"It's
open."
malfunctioning," because
That
he's
cracked
just
me up
standing there and
both
nothing's
times.
happening. He doesn't understand that the door's open. He's like, "It must be malfunctioning." Like that, he's just bested by an elevator.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
He's bested by everything in this episode. The room service was very confusing to him. He's not understanding this, which
No.
actually leads me to another question. At the very beginning, they mentioned that the Klingons found this place, and since it had a Starfleet signature or whatever, they contacted us. Would you have liked to see this episode had a Klingon landing party gone into this hotel?
Yes. Oh my god. I think that would have made this better.
Trying to kill their way through a casino with people that aren't actually alive.
And really,
yet.
like, the crew
they
of
I
never
thieves
think
in
they
there to
would
save
get
the
down with the
Klingons.
gambling though, especially something like the dice throwing, because it's pretty simple and doesn't require a lot of like language. I could see them like drinking blood wine and rolling bones like all night.
You know,
Who do you think would fare better, Ferengi or Klingon?
Oh, Ferengi.
Ooh.
Heartbeat.
Oh god, yes.
Oh my
They
God.
would have won the house and like
They would
taken over
own the
and
place.
completed the novel
Yeah.
before. It
Well,
was
see,
out.
Walking
season
around
2
like Mr.
TNG
Burns
Ferengi
all
no.
night.
That's
Laser
true.
whip Ferengi where they're like,
Oh.
maybe not. But
Okay, how do we feel about that man's Texas accent? Because I think it might be one of the most boring Texas accents.
it wasn't a Texas accent. It was his entire personality. That was his
Yeah.
name.
Mm-hmm.
I am Texas.
yeah.
I don't like the way he said business. Like, I don't know if people talk like that. Like, that seems like a lower Buck Strickland voice or something. Like, I wasn't excited by him, honestly.
I sell propane and propane accessories.
Now, Hank,
Oh god, Bobby.
Miss Liz.
Boy, right.
They should have prompted him like the stars at night are big and bright. Yeah. Yep.
So would you rather see Mike Judge just redo this entire episode with his cast
God,
of characters?
Yeah, I mean, even if it was like redone as a Beavis and Butthead episode, that like
Oh my
in
God, that'd be
animated, that would
so
be great.
amazing.
Every character is just standing around the beer going, "Yep."
Speaking of which, the like at one point, when they're trying to figure out what the hell's going on, Data goes up to this woman at the slots. She reminds me so much of the old woman from the first Beavis and Butthead movie, Do America. I'm gonna do the slots.
It reminded me of Sophia from the Golden Girls.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Oh yeah, I've scored in my time.
As somebody who's been to Vegas, I'm sure I'm not saying I'm the only one, but like this is so true.
Yeah.
You know, not even in the context of like a simulation. If you had a discussion with somebody at the slots, it would go exactly like this. It would just be like you're not even there. Except instead of the handle, you know, they're just pressing buttons or touching a screen or something. It is
The
there.
race is
It's like
hot tonight.
in.
When my family found out that I was reading tarot and that sort of thing, my grandmother cornered me at like some family gathering and was like, I want you to go to the casino with me and tell me which slots are loose. I was like, I can try. I've never read mechanics before, but you know, if it's a free trip to a casino.
You could just point at random people and you could say like, "Oh, I thought you said sluts."
Yeah, I thought I'm pointing at all the loose things in the entire casino.
Yes.
And you know, you're saying that positively. You know, you want to have fun with people. You don't want to look down on people.
Yeah. But we just mentioned a couple times Data was a little interesting in this episode. Do you feel he was too emotional, too odd, too different in this episode, or do you like his portrayal?
I felt like he was trying to blend in, so he got a little bit more slapsticky and a little bit more with like a cheeky attitude, but I think he was trying to not stand out as an android.
I don't know, but it's weird. It's everything you said, Josh. It's actually like I like it, but also it's very out of character. This isn't like episode 5 of season 1 We are halfway through the run of season 2. We have never seen Data act like this except when he was quote unquote drunk in episode 2. Like every time he's learned to play poker and stuff, we'd already done Measure of a Man by this point. He was not emotional in the slightest for the gambling. And in this one, he both goes over the top here and says something to the effect about there's a certain amount of enjoyment to the gambling. And it's like, okay, this does not sound like the Data I know, but I am kind of here for it.
I think it's fun. It like in the earlier seasons, Data's access to slapstick, or rather Brent Spiner's acting, sometimes saves otherwise unwatchable episodes. So, and this is not like so offensive that it burns my eyes, but it's nothing special. So I enjoy it. I think it's fun.
I also think Data as an emotionless character is hard to write for. Like, he's intrinsically hard to write for because as a writer, you want to invest human emotions into your character because that's what you're taught to do generally as a writer. You know, you go through the schools, they tell you to write from character. So
well, to me also, it carries like, you know, Picard acts differently when he's being Dixon Hill. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like when they go into the holodeck, they're kind of expected to act differently. And I'm sure at this point, Data has had access to the holodeck and probably with other humans. And it really does sort of help carry the flavor of the episode that he's kind of fallen into the role of a gambler and like a very stereotypical kind of like blow on my dice gambler. And if it breaks the character of Data for a little tiny bit, I'm fine with that.
Also,
not only has he already, he has gotten into character on the holodeck. Thinking back to, I believe it was The Big Goodbye. Is that the one where he's not only fully like dressed like a gangster but talking like one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does talk like a gangster. You're right. Okay, that's a good point.
I also think it carries through the mathematical theme that was introduced at the beginning, because I think what kind of puffs up his confidence is the fact that he's like, it's just probability. And he can make calculations super fast, and they're like, what's the point of counting cards? And because he can calculate things so quickly, he's naturally good at this.
Go, Mr. Captain. I like that.
Works for me.
Yeah.
The overly complicated technobabble answer. That's a good one.
So do you like this combination of the characters we saw go into the casino, or do you think there might have been another arrangement of our Star Trek characters who could have been in there?
Literally anybody could have replaced Worf.
Well,
I mean, he does get some good deadpan moments, but at the same time, he seems the most out of place.
I think you could have come into this scenario and get a little.
It would have been Pulaski.
Yeah. Bev was out.
Yeah.
And we had talked about this. We couldn't
Pulaski.
remember Pulaski was in it. She's here. She's in it
Yeah,
for a minute.
She could have done something about that man in the bed. They could have brought him back to life. They could have saved him. You know,
just a hypo spray away, and he could have been just
exactly
back to the living.
Some chest compressions, mouth to mouth, ass mouth.
Just
I don't know.
10 cc's of whatever worked a minute ago.
Yeah.
My choice would have
The Last Crusade.
My choice would have been Troy, because she could still be the fish out of water, because these aren't real people, and maybe she would have gotten a reading off of the dead man. I don't know how that works with Betazoids, but
Maybe.
and I think she would have leaned into the aesthetic more, and I think that's what makes Worf feel like a fish out of water, but a really ugly, stupid fish out of water, is because like he can't even lean into the aesthetic because he doesn't understand it. Whereas I think Troy would pick up on like the language cues and the other sort of emotional reads that would be going on in the room and be able to sort of figure out where the plot is trying to go. And so we would have get like a little bit of fish out of the water because she can't read the minds because they're not really humans. Maybe we would have gotten more information on the alien race, which would have been really useful. So I feel like I miss Troy, although Troy and Riker there at the same time would mean we wouldn't see either of them. They'd be up in the room somewhere.
I want to see her walk in
Wesley Crusher.
and like. I want to see her walk in and see that skeleton and be like, "I'm sensing that he has died some time ago."
Yeah. Well, and you know they would have made her get in a cocktail dress for no reason.
Yeah.
They said that he
absolutely.
was really well preserved. I don't
Super well preserved, yeah.
I
Doesn't
don't-
look a
No
day over
reason to
6,000.
Yeah. I also I think that I agree with Dell that Troy should be there, if for no other reason than to make this person's death mean something emotionally in the episode, because I think it was just sort of like, oh, someone's in a bed. But like reading that, if not from the body, then the journal that he kept,
Yeah.
she would have felt compassion and empathy and brought like some emotional gravitas, because it's just sort of like they're just finding things and they're like, oh, that's weird.
When they came across
Yeah, but
the
instead
skeleton,
it was more important that she stay on the ship and read Riker's emotions from space.
when they came across the skeleton, I had the thought that somebody had a fun time at Spirit Halloween for this episode.
Well, to Scott's point, yeah, it seems like they had the beginnings of a useful reason for Troy to have these powers in this episode, but they barely use it. Like there's people trapped somewhere. So her being able to actually ascertain that they're still okay while being trapped is all right. This is a starting point for her powers, and then it's just like, no, that's as far as we're going.
Yeah.
But it's still more than like you get out of her pretty much any time after this, like every season after this, where it's always,
Yep.
I sense nothing, or nothing.
No.
That's pretty much her character.
Or someone's on the view screen like, we're going to fire our phasers at you. I think he's threatening us, Captain.
I did enjoy when Riker said that he is, or when Troy said that Riker's amused. The look on Picard's face, like, fucking piece of shit. Like, he was so mad that Picard, that Riker's having a good time.
Well, that was his first thing. He's like, Riker, why haven't you left the building? I can't, boss. I can't.
Doors,
Not
sir.
having fun.
Doors.
I'm sorry, there are drink girls here. They need to be talked to. They have skirts.
He was like in prime crank mode, Picard, this whole episode.
I'm sorry, Captain. I just got to spread it around. The money. The money.
Yeah,
I'm
boy.
talking about money.
Spread it around.
That's the real Riker maneuver right there.
That's
Talk about
probably why
crabs.
they didn't have a cocktail waitress, because then they would have to do something with Riker and said cocktail waitress.
Let's split up and search for clues.
Yeah.
The crabs that Riker
Let's follow
spread
your
around.
clue.
Me and Daphne will take the basement.
So do you I think Vanessa, you were saying in the chat earlier, did you look into what the story was supposed to be? Tracy's original idea? Okay. Well, it was supposed to be a lot more cerebral and surreal, and to the point where he took his name off it, used a pseudonym, and was only credited as a creative consultant because he wasn't happy with what they did to the story. But what do you think of the tone as it is in this episode? Do you think it would have benefited being more serious, more goofy, or was it fine how it was?
I think if it was more serious, it would be so fucking boring.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah.
I think that it, because it kind of rides the line a little bit, that it's tonally confused. It needs to make a decision about what it is. This whole the whole reason for the casino isn't completely understood. The reason that the bacteria made, or the aliens made this casino, wasn't really well understood. There's so many things that clearly had been ripped out, and they didn't consider, like, what hole will this create? You know, it was just like, we're just going to remove this part of the road and we're just going to drive over it and not give it any second thought. Like, none of the characters, except for maybe Data, in a way that reverts back in the next episode, do the characters learn anything about themselves, or like, there's no development here. None nobody walks away learning anything about these aliens, or like there's nothing, like even some of the worst episodes that had come before this, there was some kind of point being made, and the point's missing.
There's no point. I like Mr. Captain's right.
Yeah.
This feels absolutely like a leftover TOS script, or at best like what am I thinking, a Phase 2 script. But it's not, and so that's almost worse.
Yeah, it was just missing some sort of moralistic Kirk speech at the end to really tie it off.
This is a good time to bring up the one thing I was thinking about when I was rewatching the episode. I feel like this does better what Strange New Worlds has been trying to do, which it ties a specific setting and aesthetic, this being like Vegas in the past at some point, to an actual Star Trek plot, rather than just, no, we all live in Fantasyland. Like it actually, even though the connection is hazy and maybe is full of holes, but at least it connects Star Trek to the genre that they're trying to put them in. Whereas I think sometimes, and I love Strange New Worlds, don't get me wrong, it's probably my new favorite, but I think one of the disconnects for it is that in the episodic nature, it forgets to tie itself back to Trek.
And you just had that picture on lock.
Yeah.
Should we have had a musical number in the casino? Would that have fixed anything?
Where's Vic Fontaine?
Different casino.
Yeah, like that's done. That's the casino thing done right, right? It's like it has a cohesive time. It lives in a certain place with a certain type of person and a certain type of clientele. Whereas this is super vague. And honestly, like if you think about it, if Picard, and if it wasn't this cast, you could put almost any cast in this particular episode. Not the one on screen. I mean, the Royale. Like it doesn't. I actually feel the opposite about it. It doesn't ring to me as a Trek episode exactly, except that it's in space, and they the mystery they're unfurling has to do with NASA.
But it does feel like it was written for some other show of the 80s entirely, and then shoehorned into Trek.
You know what? It feels like a Quantum Leap episode.
Yeah.
God damn it! I wanted to say that.
Yes.
Like also, I get the feeling that maybe Tracy Torme was making a comment about the quality of writing that has happened in Trek so far. That it's stereotypical, it's cheesy, it's like it's not what it could be.
The general quality of writing of TV shows of the late 80s. I mean, they were pretty much all this just reusing tropes and over and over and over. Most of them were terrible.
I don't know where they rented all those sharks to jump over.
Well, that's interesting because according to Tracy, this came way after the fact, the reason this probably doesn't feel like a Star Trek episode is he wrote it to be from the point of view of the astronaut who is supposed to still be alive. And the mandate came down that no, you need to put Star Trek characters in the Star Trek episode.
And when they were like, okay, you can have 3.
Yeah,
they're like you can have 3, and we'll kill the astronaut, so he's not even alive. But it was supposed to be more surreal, and he was living out like this wasteland of characters who weren't real, and it was like Groundhog Day, and just repeating and playing up on his fears.
That's not a real body, right? That's not real. That skeleton. It's not.
It could be, I guess.
I just wonder.
It's not Norman Bates' mom.
Because it's like it feels like they had to go through the trouble of like digging it up. Like it's not enough to say that he's dead or just like, have the camera face the characters as they react to somebody in bed rather than explicitly show it. But they got like a whole ass dead person.
You know what?
I would have thought. I think
Rick
it would have
Berman.
been. Oh, go ahead.
I just want to say, Rick Berman went out to the cemetery in the middle of the night and dug this body up specifically for this episode. And I don't like you talking down about his very hard, sweaty work in the rain.
Of course, there's a Berman picture.
Rick Berman, a grave robber. I would absolutely buy that.
Look at those eyes. Come on now.
Well, this was still when he was working directly under Gene, so
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay, so him and Gene went out and got sweaty. Damn.
So
a little
what I was
bros
gonna-
trip.
What I was going to say earlier is I think maybe
Bros
the
trip.
one thing that could have been a compromise and given the episode a little bit more bite is if the trio find the astronaut who's been stuck in this time loop for 6,000 years and they get to rescue him and get him out of the, even if the astronaut has to die in order for it to be over or whatever. But I like that idea a whole lot. If it's like, oh, you're stuck in this time loop and now we are here to fix that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because it kind of outside of like getting out of a place that they're trapped in, there's no stakes here. That's
Yeah.
it. That's like, because when they find the dead guy, you're absolutely right, Del. There's no stakes attached.
Well, the
to it.
stakes is just that they have to make it out of the casino without
Right,
being trapped.
exactly. They're
Yes.
trapped. That's it.
Well, and that brings up
Ending.
something you mentioned earlier. They made him the assistant manager. We were supposed to see the manager at the end, and that was supposed to be the big reveal for who was actually controlling things. But instead, he was just referenced the one time of, oh, he's very busy.
So there's
And it's
the
really
wizard.
just a holodeck episode with also Jonathan Frakes later in another episode doing this as a flashback. Go ahead.
Yes.
Norman just said that thing about them being ancestors of one of the people from Lost. The assistant manager was in Lost. Just saying.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Oh,
Man.
After
Little
this, so
Bernard,
it
love
all
that
it all ties together. And then Tracy went on to create Sliders, and he got chased out of that show too. So he doesn't have a good time with his own work.
Was that show sponsored by White Castle?
This show should be.
Sliders. Sliders.
Boo this man. Don't you ever.
My favorite part was when they slid.
That is a good part.
Dude, I will
It happens in
Yeah.
every
It
episode.
was fun. It was good.
This is me being stupid, and I'm totally fine with that. Did Data weigh the dice? Did he reweigh them when he was doing this in his hand so that he would roll well?
Supposedly, yes.
yeah.
Okay.
He fixed
think-
them, whatever that means.
Or were they
He does
weighted
this.
and he made them even? But then he was throwing really well.
Yeah,
So
they
that's
were
why I
like
was like,
loaded
maybe
and he
he.
unloaded them.
Yeah.
Now, if this was a 7 of 9 episode, she would have used nanites to just, replace the numbers every time she rolled the dice.
Oh, that's a good thought.
But so coming back to the very well written book, if you were stuck in a scenario such as this, what book would you choose to have to live out your life in until death?
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. No question.
Wow. Okay.
The whole series or just one specific book?
The book, the opening book.
Okay.
The things I saw.
But you don't
on
even get to the
Mulberry
restaurant at the
Street.
end of the universe that way.
Yeah.
I've forgotten the name of it, but that book that Charlie Kaufman put out, mostly because it gives me more excuses to be a sad white guy.
Fair.
Gosh, I like came up with that question, and it's so freaking hard because most of the books that I like are like where someone is like a tortured person. So it's
Vanessa, my first answer was going to be VC Andrews, but then I was like, why would I want to live in that world?
right.
Nobody wants to live in that world.
Like maybe Interview with a Vampire just for the vibes.
Oh no. You know what? I think I'm going to change mine to Curious George. I mean, you're always alive in that. You get to hang out with a well-animated monkey.
You would look lovely in a yellow hat, Robbie.
Oh, thank you, Dill.
But does Curious George have a tail or not in this book? That's the question.
Well, he tells a story.
I have a book about the Taylor Swift fans turning into zombies, like they're called Swifties, become like zombies that are at her beck and call.
Swambies?
And, yeah. Yeah, and then
If you shoot them in the head, they just shake it
Carrie
off.
defeats them, and it's so ridiculous.
It was her
That
zombie era.
That would be fun, at least.
Yeah.
They're turned because of their bad blood. You just get infected and it's all over.
You gotta stop.
All right, we got 10 minutes left. Make the best of your questions, Josh. What do you got left?
So do you think, I know this isn't necessarily the right time period, but who knows what time period it is. Do you think they missed a trick by not having Patrick Stewart try to do some sort of Dixon Hill to this thing?
No, absolutely not. Every time we get Dixon Hill, it's garbage. And I know some people love The Big Goodbye, and I am not one of them.
Big goodbye.
Okay, look, I like noir. I like detective stuff.
I feel like it's
doing
not
that.
the same genre, I guess.
Yeah, that also. Like, this is a different type of crime novel, I think. It's more centered around a hotel. It's not really about a mystery.
Well, he would be like, Dixon Hill looks for like the bad guys who shot somebody, or like the husband is cheating on the wife. And I mean, with the trench coat and the hat and everything, I just think he would stick out like a sore thumb.
See, if it was a Dixon Hill episode, it would have to be restructured entirely.
Yeah.
He would have to be in his office, his feet up on the desk, and then Rita comes in and says, Mickey D is going to kill the man I love, that I really love, or something.
One of the men I'm interested in.
Yeah.
You're going to have every character say the word dicks unnecessarily.
Yep.
We could have had an excuse for Guinan, though. No Guinan this episode.
Yeah.
That was
Gloria
unfortunate.
from Cincinnati. Or from
Sure.
Cleveland.
From Cleveland.
From
Yeah,
Cleveland.
See, I would really want, they got to do like the Austin Powers thing and give like the female character like a really stupid name, like, like a lot of
Yeah,
vaginas,
baby.
like a shit. Anita Dickinya or something. Like it has
Labia minora.
that.
Yep.
I did a role-playing game in which my name was Labia minora.
I love it.
This is the perfect group of people to be
GLORIA.
reviewing this particular episode. I gotta say.
I guess if you were in this scenario, the actual Royale scenario, what would you do in this casino, hotel, whatever adjacent places we didn't get to see? Apparently there's a parking garage. What would be your go-to activity?
I would live it the fuck up. I would
Yeah.
I would drink as much as I could, especially if there were no consequences. Like, I would gamble, I'd drink, I'd go fuck Rita. Like, whatever.
Well, Mickey, just stare Mickey in the eyes while you're doing it.
Yeah, exactly. I'll go like, yeah. Okay, all right. I'm sorry for this sidetrack, but I have to do it. So there's this band who has a really bad name I can't even say, but they call me Chicken Hawk because I know what I like. Turning little girlies on my motorbike. And it's all about a lesbian fucking a girl in front of her boyfriend.
Nice.
Oh. Is that the
Well, Date is also there, hopefully.
I think I would.
It's really cultural.
I think I would try to get to know each one of these people because they look like fully rounded out people. Even though it's a shitty novel, it seems like they all have their own thing going on. Like it's not a thing where there's just like NPCs and one character to interact with. Like you can talk to anybody.
But they don't all have dialogue back.
Yeah, and then I would start a cult or something.
It would be funny if it was like NPCs in a video game where every time you approach them, they're like, hey, sir, what's going on? What would you like today? And then they come back later and he's like, hey, sir, what's going on? What would you like today?
Would have been amazing if there's just a couple of people in the background just walking into walls the whole time.
Yeah. See, they must have seen
My man.
shooting the wall and thought, like, maybe that's an exit.
Yeah, I would have just played poker and blackjack and drank until it got really boring, like any a thing that goes on forever story does. And it's like, I've done this
Then
too
you're
many
gonna be
times.
like
Now I'm bored.
So you're saying you want Star Trek with blackjack and hookers?
You're gonna be
Yes,
like an adrenaline junkie. you're gonna be like an adrenaline junkie, and then eventually you're gonna be like, shoot me again. Like it's just.
Oh, wasn't there was a Black Mirror episode where someone like got pleasure from pain, and so they went crazy, like hurting themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, I would like fall from the third story on the ground, like nothing can kill me.
Except for Mickey D.
But it doesn't seem like any of the NPCs would even react.
I'm going for some room service.
It's open 24 hours a day.
Oh, I'm sorry.
As long as all you want is a Royale
Oh my
with
god!
cheese.
You know, I've never had like access to room service. I just really get something I've never eaten that's dumb, like caviar, just so I can spit it out and be like, "Ew, I did that."
Dude, the two
You know, it
times
doesn't
I've
matter.
gotten
Money
room
doesn't
service in my
matter.
life, it's been about 3 times as much as it should be and half as tasty.
Did you get
Yeah,
lobster
it's-
tail?
It's basically like I'm drunk and I don't want to leave my room. It's not unless you're like in a really fancy hotel. It's okay. Like it's serviceable.
I think it's just old school DoorDash at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Assuming these aliens even knew how to recreate actual human food. Yeah, it wasn't just like a black pile of sludge or something.
Right,
Yeah,
nutritional goo.
Be like
That's
that
what killed
conversation in one of the Matrix movies, like, you know, how did they know what it tastes like? So like everything tastes like chicken.
Which means everything technically tasted like dinosaur.
Even Mickey D tastes like chicken.
That's what I would do. I would
Nuggets.
roast Mickey D with like an apple in his mouth, turn him to the fire.
Garlic in his armpits.
We're coming up on an hour. Do you think we should rate this
Everyone is
thing?
cutting out, and I have no
Yeah.
idea what anyone is saying. I'm cutting out early.
Good night,
All right,
Robbie.
Robbie.
Good night.
Thanks, buddy.
Have a beautiful time.
Rating.
Oh,
I'm going to give it a 6 because it's undercooked, like the
All
chicken.
right.
Goodbye.
Okay. Thanks, Robbie. You got a couple minutes
All
if
right.
you have any more questions. You know, get one more out.
I mean, nothing too vital aside from, we kind of touched on it, but is this a good idea for an escape room premise? Do you think this would be fun to do in real life?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, actually, for an escape room, I think that's the best case
Sure.
scenario for this story.
Well, that ate up 3 seconds.
that could have been like a Lower Decks episode where somebody found this place again and repurposed it as an escape room.
Well, that is a good point. Like at the end, do we know this place ceased to exist? I mean, they left, but is it
That's a good
still?
question.
That would have
Oh,
been a good
gosh, that's
premise for
incredible.
Lower Deck season 6. Boimler gets trapped in this place.
Yeah, Boimler would have been way
Boimler
more fun
would.
to watch in this casino. And
they'll, like,
Rutherford, honestly.
Actually, all of them.
Right.
Lynn would have
They'll
been great in here.
They just wouldn't have
Yeah.
nearly the amount of luck that Riker or Data have. They would just like constantly try to, gamble and
Oh, no,
lose.
Mariner would know how to gamble.
Or Talin would
Yeah.
have figured out all the math games.
Yeah.
But between the two of them, they could have run the casino.
Well, Mariner would disappear for 10 minutes and come back, and she'd be in some sort of relationship with Mickey D and Rita. And they just worked everything
Yes!
out.
Oh my god. Okay. Yes.
And
This would
somehow
be
she'd
so
have
much
gotten
better
all
as
the,
Lower Deck.
somehow she'd get enough money to buy the place too.
Mm.
Mhm.
And franchise it as like another Quarks or something.
I think that would be a great name for it. Just call it Another Quarks.
Yeah.
And
There's
Yeah,
73
another Quarks
locations across the
casino.
quadrant. Just a bunch of Royales forever.
Upper side of town. Okay.
But yeah, I guess since this was my pick, I guess I'll go last for the ratings. Does anyone have any last thoughts they'd like to add first?
I miss these kind of episodes. I think a lot of these 10 episode seasons we've been having have to kind of skip over these sorts of things. And I think I've said this on this podcast before. I think it gives everyone a breath. They get a chance to sort of enjoy the characters without being completely engrossed in intensity. That we get to kind of still see the show that we love, but in a way that lets us relax for a minute. Like, yes, Borg, yes, bad things are happening, but also we're getting caught in time loops with Mr. Texas. So I feel I like, and I think Strange New Worlds kind of almost does it in reverse, in that they do a lot of silly episodes, and unless they're involving the Gorn, I'm hoping the Gorn are done. But I do. This is what I miss. Like, about Discovery would have had so much fun with an episode like this, and we'd get to know, anyway. Yeah, I sorely miss episodes like this.
Yeah, the stakes always have to be like the galaxy is under threat or something, or the planet's going to be destroyed. And when you constantly have to hit that high mark, it kind of makes it background noise.
I mean, imagine with Discovery if they had a Naked Now episode. Come on now. Linus, drunk and horny. I'm
I
in.
wanted something like that.
Oh, Book, and Saru. Those would be the three.
Yeah.
From the Royale.
Right.
You don't want to see Tilly in here?
I mean, I always want to see Tilly. I want to see Tilly in a cocktail dress, but that's a different story.
Killy, dang
Yes.
it.
Although if it was mid Discovery, I'm sure this would have just been a Giorgio episode. Just send her into the kooky Royale. Starts killing all the.
Yeah, but they're too busy being all.
And
they're
that's
too busy
when
being
she
all
gets,
serious.
That's when she gets a taste for bar management.
Yeah.
Well, it makes sense. This is clearly where Data got the skills for Time's Arrow to take Ducat's money. So it all comes full circle.
Yeah, but Discovery was too busy being so serious that saving the entire multiverse from extinction was
boring.
A full-time job?
Was a less serious
Door.
plot point in the first season than getting everybody home.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about actual Section 31. Yeah, Discovery Mirror Universe. Do you think there's a Royale in the Mirror Universe?
I'd love to see it. Somebody write it for me.
And what would a Mirror Universe Royale be like? Better
I'm just
written?
imagining Big Tex with like a big black
When they
hat
walk in half
and a
killed
black
and they're
shirt
dead.
with like studs and metal and a big bolo tie, and he's just like, "All right, motherfuckers, how are we gonna win this thing?"
So like
all
Rob
the casino,
Halford.
Yeah.
all the casino NPCs would be in BDSM gear.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm thinking like Circus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
People are gambling with the wow.
yeah, like dang it, what the heck is that movie? Fear and Loathing kind of thing. Nobody
That
is
would be
sober.
awesome as like a repeated like shroom trip where like they keep taking drugs while they're doing it to cope with the all the craziness, and it just makes everything happen over and over again. I mean,
That would make the Alice in Wonderland reference so much better.
yes.
In the end of the episode, there is no casino. They're just laying in the black void the entire time, just hallucinating the whole thing.
Perfect.
Occasionally it cuts to them and they're like,
And a cold close
As
where
you're
they just
saying, I recommend
beam
maybe
out
not
of the
searching for things
blackness,
on.
and it just stops there. There's no final shot on the Enterprise at all.
No, yeah.
Data's pantomiming like this.
yeah. I feel like Mirror Data has an eye patch for some reason.
I've seen Mirror Data.
But yeah, so let's go ahead. I'll go last. So Scott, do you want to start giving this your rating and final thought?
Sure. I have my camera off, by the way, because I think it's actually helping with the lagging. So, in a lot of ways, this does seem like it could be an episode of any TV show of the era. It just has some Star Trek elements sprinkled in. But it's also weirdly enjoyable. I definitely was not bored at all watching it. I'm not going to rank it too high because of that, but the entire premise is a little, I would like to see, what new states we're going to be getting, apparently. Yeah, overall, I think just a 6. And I've already got Robbie and Norman here, so.
So I did something crazy
Dang.
because I didn't know what I was going to rate this. So because I have too much time in my hands, I found 10 Star Trek fans that were friends of mine, and I just asked them, do you remember an episode called The Royale? So if that's going to be my rating, it's going to be a 6 out of 10. Did it leave a mark? It left a mark. Yes, exactly. Scientific.
You use Fermat's theorem to come up with your answer.
Exactly.
Nice.
So one thing, like the plot holes in this are just so egregious and huge to me. Like they pull out the astronaut outfit from the closet, and then they're like, this thing that has the same name as the ship. I wonder if it's from the ship that we saw outside of in orbit of this planet. Let's check this name tag and cross-reference it. Like, where else do you think that suit came from? Anyway, like
cosplay.
There's no reason. Yeah, there's no reason for this casino to exist.
Royal Con.
There doesn't appear to be a clear reason as to why they were stuck in there, and if they were stuck in there this way, like how this solution was never arrived at by anybody else is nuts. Like why wouldn't they like put in the book like, hey, we couldn't exit because we have no ship, and the only way we could get out is to be the foreign investors, but we can't leave, so we're just stuck here or whatever. Anyway, I find it to be like kind of background noise Trek, where it's like comforting, I guess, because you can hear, something going on, but it's not anything substantive. So I give this like a 4. I don't think anything meaningful comes out of this, but it's like a good filler episode, I guess.
Oh, God. Welcome to my absolute nightmare as the person who has ranked every episode of Star Trek. And this is one of like 7 that I originally put in my not quite Trek category, where I put it just above the worst episodes of Star Trek, but would basically be a 0.5 out of 10. But it's in that I recognize that it's better than most of the worst stuff, and it's fun to watch, but it adds absolutely nothing to Star Trek. It adds the fact that there's a certain number of states that the United States is going to have in this timeline. But it does nothing to move Star Trek forward. But it's an awful lot of fun to watch. I've always liked this episode just as an episode of television, though even if you compare it to other episodes of just television, especially from the late 80s, it's pretty on par, and most of them are not very good. It was just a time when tropes were getting recycled over and over, week in and week out, and this felt like one of them. So on one hand, I'm like, it's like a 0.5, and on another, I'm like, well, at least for the late 80s, this is like a 7 as far as television, though versus all of television in general, it's like a 3. So I don't know what to do with this. 4? I guess.
Roll for it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty much where I'm at. I could roll an 8-sided die at that. Whatever number comes up would probably be it.
All right, so I have a special, I don't know if it's special to me, but a special relationship to this episode. Just for whatever reason, when I was a very small child and they were airing the first seasons of TNG, they were so weird to me. The first 2 seasons were just odd compared to the TNG I knew. But this episode, anytime I saw them beam down to that planet with a revolving door, I was just like, yes, I love this one. It's a train wreck of an episode. There's very little that makes sense to it, but it's just fun to watch. Like something about just them beaming down into the black void with a revolving door. I'm like, wow, this is so weird and unique, and they don't really answer it. There's aliens that maybe are there, who knows, whatever. They dropped them later on. All the characters, or at least the actors probably, and the characters seem to be having fun in the casino setting. I had forgotten that there's two of my favorite Worf moments in this when he doesn't recognize what the door is, and he had some great lines, but he's just like, some curiosities, Commander. Like, why do you say it that way?
Because he couldn't say vibrators in 1988.
Oh, Klingon vibrators have two, so I'm not really sure what this is.
There are some here that have two.
Yeah. But it's just, I don't know, whatever it is, there's season 2, people say season 3 is a transition period. Season 2 started the transition where there's actually really great Star Trek episodes, or at least classics. You get Measure of a Man, you have Elementary Dear Data, which is a pretty significant episode as far as the holodeck and Moriarty and things like that. So there's great episodes here in season 2, but for whatever reason, this is what I think of when I think of season 2. This just weird, we're trying to figure things out and just throwing everything at the wall, and it's fun. There's concepts we never come back to, and who cares? We're just doing what we're going to do, and I found it to be just an interesting, good 47 minutes of TV or however long it was. So not a great episode, but I always loved it, and I'm going to give it about a 7. I can't give it like a 10 because it's not a good episode, but my enjoyment factor plays a lot of the hard work.
I wonder if this is going to become a trend in this thing that we're doing where we're all picking an episode and reviewing it, where last week I gave Watcher from Picard Season 2 as my episode the highest rank, and Josh has given the Royale the highest. So
and I forgot to mention my whole thing. I did a D&D campaign based on this episode.
What?
That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I was
awesome.
in it. I called myself Labia Minora, I think.
Yeah,
But,
I have no idea what we're doing next week. I know that Vanessa at some point has picked out Taste of Armageddon from TOS to feature. Scott's going to do DS9's Waltz at some point. I know, Del, you're always welcome to
I have
join
some
us and do a
ideas.
thing.
I'm
Yeah,
right now.
no pressure. No
Yeah,
pressure.
commitment's a little bit weird, but I do have some episodes I think I could really sink everyone's teeth into.
Scouts? Is it Star Trek Scouts?
I hope it's Scouts.
I haven't even watched most of
Wow.
it.
You're not missing anything.
Don't worry, you're not missing anything.
But yeah,
Oh, I know
don't know what we're doing
Dustin,
next
I
week.
know what it would be. It would be the episode Caves from Lower Decks. No, I'm kidding.
Oh hell yeah, that would be awesome. We've talked about it before, but I would talk about it again. I love caves.
Yeah.
Mr. Captain says Carbon Creek.
Oh, yes. I like that.
That's a really good one that we
Oh,
could just do sometime.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Ooh, that's a good one.
If we don't do it as part of this at some point, yes.
Yeah.
I had
it's a-
just said that like the next thing that I want to do at some point in the next year is Sacred Ground from Voyager. I think it takes a really good
Ooh.
look at religion through Star Trek lens.
Dustin, can I be there, please? Can we make it so that I'm there for that episode?
Okay.
I hope so. That sounds great.
I think I might have some insights into that
Yeah,
sort
yeah.
of thing.
I just partially rewatched it for something else I was doing, and it's so many of the things I like how they touch on religion through the Trek lens in that one. Anyway, we'll have something for you next week. It will be another single episode of Star Trek that one of us particularly enjoys or finds interesting. But I'd like to thank Josh for doing the Royale today, and for all of you who came and did the Royale with us, and for all of you that tuned in. So, until we see you again, live long